Are you ready for your first assignment as a protector? Before I tell you, are you familiar with the Blue Islands Coalition?
Say now, what's that chest supposed to look like?
Small, with the crest of the Blue Island Coalition on it, I think.
I want you to meet this emissary and give him this letter.
And in case you're in the mood for a mug of ale and a good chat, just drop by the Dancing Nomad in the Stranger's Quarter.
We are talking about a representative of one of the world's most powerful merchant guilds. This is not an ordinary errand. You just have to work if you want to achieve something. It's just how it is.
Fresh from the oven.
Yeah.
Treat
It's
yourself.
not as if I didn't tell them that already.
Oh, lovely adherers of the...
Oh well. Oh, she no talk to dull. In all bad, talk to others. Emissary, she talk about Dijaam. Dijaam not here. Dijaam other place. Perhaps Dul can remember, but she needs to help his memory. Dul's memory old and full of holes, like cheese. She right, but sailor life is rough, and sea winds blow away thoughts just like that. Dul heard that pennies can help, but Dul not knows if true. Powerful man, but fine. Dul want no trouble. Dijaam went bathing in house with many waters. Go look there. She has what she came here for. Go now. Leave Dul alone.
Well,
As I said, the offer stands. Just think about it, okay?
I will. Take care. Hey, you came. Come on, take a seat. So, tell me, how are you holding up? It must have been quite the whirlwind. Yesterday, a refugee from another country, and now a prodigy with a magic great enough to impress old Bushybeard. Well, that's good to hear. I'm quite curious to see how things keep on with you. You're different. I noticed that the time we met. Anyhow, tell me, what do you make of this country now that you've had some time to look around? I figure it must be quite the change from Nerim. Shoot! Yeah, I can picture that. You know, this is exactly the reason why I love inns so much. The sky can rain fire out there. In here, you'll always meet laughter and good humor. Not to mention all the good-looking men and women. Absolutely. Though I think I've seen enough of this place by now. Of Enderal, I mean. There's a ship sailing for Kiléan next morning, and as it seems, it will be the last one for quite some time to come. Who knows? Maybe they still have a cabin to spare for a handsome treasure hunter. Oh well. This entire thing was more a coincidence than planned anyhow. The Order needed someone with skill and discretion. I was around. End of story. I never intended to stick around for much longer. Heck, me as an ambassador of the Holy Order, could you imagine that? Not one step further, O fair maiden. Drop your garment so we may both bathe in Malphas's holy light. Actually not that bad, don't you think? Oh, you're too kind. But you know, at the end of the day, I guess I'd probably lack both the pathos and the idealism for such a profession. You know, I'm aware of how these esteemed keepers up there talk about sellswords like me. I could save 30 virgins from a myriad on Rampage. At the end of the day, they'd always say I did it for the money, because I wanted to bed the women, or whatever. I'm driven by inferior motives. While no matter what their actions end in, they are good guys because they do things for the right reasons. If only they'd understand that it's results that matter, not intentions. What does the wise hermit say? Nothing is of less importance to the saved than the reason for their rescue. The only difference between a mercenary like me and a holy warden is that I'm at least aware of the fact that I do what I do for myself, and no one else. I'm trying to say that all those heroes and self-declared messiahs are no better than everyone else. In the end, we are all selfish, because we always act in accordance to what we think we have to be like. So yes, maybe the keeper saves the farmer from the bandits. But at the end of the day, he does it because he sees himself in a certain light. You know, the funny thing is that a lot of times, it's especially those who think of themselves driven by a higher purpose who are the really dangerous ones. They don't understand what drives them, and that makes them easy to manipulate. The only thing left to do for the capable hate-monger or tyrant is to somehow combine his own ambitions with the mental image of this person. And presto, you've got your perfect puppet, only waiting to dive into the next hail of arrows for their honor, their religion, or whatever they thought of this time. It's just so idiotic, you know? The world would be a much better place if everyone could just acknowledge that the only reason we're here is that we want to be happy. Yeah, seek bliss and avoid pain, as the wise hermit likes to say. And believe me, once you realize that that's how people just work, life is a lot better. Oh, yeah, I do. And this goal is called surviving. And if possible, to be able to enjoy a good glass of wine or an exciting night from time to time. Blazes, you make it sound so dramatic. Doing something for your own sake doesn't make you selfish. But yeah, basically that's it. I don't know. Call it a feeling. But if there is such a thing as a universal point to our lives, then I'm pretty sure we won't find it within the pre-digested philosophies or religions most people believe in. And hey, I'd be the last one to reject this great truth if she were to knock on my door, naked and tits jiggling. But until then, I'd rather try and find my own answers. You do? And here I thought I'd get an indignant cry and a splash of wine thrown in my face. That's how most people react. In any case, I think I'll take my leave now. I very much enjoyed our talk, but the ship to Kiléan leaves before the first cocks crow tomorrow, and I want some more time to think about it. Well, it most recently gained a good-looking Naramese woman. Maybe that'll make up for when I leave. Keep your chin up.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Walk blessed, walk blessed. Has my dame come to indulge in the hot springs of the Larxes? Or is my dame simply looking for a place to forget about life's daily sorrows? In either case, she will be required to pay a toll of 57 pennies. Unfortunately, a man with such a name is not known to me.
Let her in. I'll pay.
My dame, you should cover yourself.
Let's talk downstairs, shall we? I want to indulge in these beautiful springs for as long as I can. As far as I know, yes. Dijaam, daughter of Geron, emissary of the Blue Islands Coalition, and newcomer to this wonderful city. But let's save the introductions for later, shall we? It's cold up here. It does. Come on down.
And hey, I'd be the last one to reject this great truth if she were to knock on my door, naked and tits jiggling. But until then, I'd rather try and find my own answers than tits jiggling.
What is it? Are you coming? Depends on the business, I guess. So, I take it you're the welcoming party from the Sickle, am I right? I was told someone would contact me as soon as we landed, but for the past 2 days no one has. I thought I might as well take a look around the city. Even though this city has certainly seen better days, at least according to the gossip. Red madness, lost ones in the forests, crazed brigands. Phew! I'm sure they have their reasons. I have, but I've been warned that this Deloran is a... how shall I say... a complicated character. I'm important, and I'll let you feel just how important by letting you wait. But who cares? Once an idiot, always an idiot. Now, aren't you curious? But fine, why not? We want to buy an artifact from the Sickle. An ancient and powerful one. One of unmatched value. 2 golden testicles from a Vatir, each of them weighing 3 pounds. Sorry, I just had to. Jokes aside, I would be a bad merchant if I went around gossiping with confidential information, wouldn't I? Don't take it personally. Show me. Formal supper in the guild's house with Deloran himself. Oh my, this is going to be an evening full of jesting and good humor. You can tell Deloran I'll be there. Thanks for delivering the message. Charming.
Ah, one more thing before you go. You're Enal. I've heard that accent before, but I just can't put my finger on it. Where are you from?
Of course, that was it. And how is it that a traveler like you is now running errands for the Golden Sickle? Uh-huh. A soldier of fortune. How charming. Anyway, good luck with whatever you do next. Ah, and if you're in the mood for it, apparently there's a Kiléan minstrel group in this city, and they perform in the tavern just next to the bathing house. I'll stay there for the time being, and I wouldn't mind a good chat. Now, aren't you subtle? Then walk blessed, as people here like to say. No, look at that. You came. Didn't think you would. So, what's your take on this contemporary sample of Kiléan dancing? Well, that doesn't mean you can't have an opinion, does it? That can mean anything. Anyway, how about a sip of wine? Rounds are on me. Come, take a seat. So, before we move on to more pleasant topics, there is one thing I need to get off my chest first. I heard of the, paper chase you had to go through to find me. I know. He's pulled that stunt on others before. He speaks perfect Nail, by the way. That whole "I only stupid Kiléan" thing is part of the act. In that sense, thanks for teaching him a lesson. It was overdue. But anyway, tell me.
What brought you here? Just where exactly from Narum are you from? I'm curious.
That's why I asked. Yeah, I know what you mean. You know, this is precisely why I find it so interesting that so many people accuse us Kiléans of being greedy or dishonorable. I mean, just take a look around. Are the other nations of the civilized world really so much better?
We've got Narum, which was recently split into 3 and devastated by 3 madmen. I don't need to tell you about that.
Then there's Kira, with its fabled free thinking in universities. But every 2 weeks there's a new attempt at revolution with at least 3 dozen corpses.
And don't get me started on Arctwind, Arizale, or this place.
What I'm trying to say is, yes, there's poverty on the Blue Islands. On Kiléan, and yes, there are problems. But we are free. Neither Moralen nor the Elder Council tell us what to do, and no matter how dire the circumstances you're born into, life is what you make of it. So it's basically the opposite of this excuse for a country. Anybody can become rich, famous, or, if they want to, live an eremite's life on the beach. As long as they can go through with it. Then sure, there are exceptions. But in my experience, those who never made it brought it on themselves. Then now you're here, working as a protector for one of the most influential merchant guilds of the civilized world. Because you wouldn't surrender to what other people tried to sell you as your fate. I know. That's why you're different from the rest of the people here. You know, I know what it means to have to fight for something. Unlike that snot DeLorean, I wasn't born with a bag of gold stuffed up my ass. But instead of wallowing in self-pity or listening to the priests talk about how everything gets better once you're dead, I took responsibility for my own fate. If a dust-sniffing loser as a father and a clump-footed, half-witted brother qualify as not exactly noble, then yes. I don't want to talk about it. Was. Merciful as the gods were, they blessed him with a deadly fever at the age of 10. Probably better that way. An addict and a failure. Do you know the kind of person who does nothing all day long but whine about how unfair the world is? Take that and throw in 2 sacks of droge and there you have him. Geran Onelis, my esteemed creator and one of the reasons I spent most of my childhood eating dust and insects for breakfast. It was. I have, and I'm only getting started. You should see them, all these losers who I grew up with. Yes, they were dealt a tough hand, but instead of grabbing fate at its throat, they just went through their lives with their heads bowed and nodding at everyone. I'll never understand how people can be that way. Anyway, let's not go further into this. That's good to hear. It's a beautiful place, really. The forests, the Great Falls, the beaches, Wyneel Yar. No, well, I'm getting nostalgic. I'd say we make a cut here, shall we? It's late and I should see how my crew is doing. It was a pleasure, Protector. Until next time. Now aren't you subtle?
Where you from? You sexy thing. I believe in miracles. Oh, since you came along, you sexy thing. Where did you come from, baby? How did you know I needed you?